What's going on, plugins? Welcome back to another video. In today's video, I'm going to talk about Kentucky basketball's 2023 recruiting class and how good they will be this upcoming season. Before we get into this video, make sure you drop a like, and if you're new here, sub to the channel and become a part of the family. Now let's get into the video. Last season, Kentucky finished with a 22-12 record and was third in the SEC. Kentucky has the #1 recruiting class, and this might be the year they finally get over the hump and win it all. This freshman class is loaded with talent. I feel like Coach Cal finally has a complete team and can compete for an NCAA championship. He has the superstars he needs in this recruiting class, and he has the key players on the roster already to go along with the freshmen. Let's look into the freshmen and see what they can bring to Kentucky this season. First, let's talk about Kentucky's best recruit, which is DJ Wagner, who is 6'3". ESPN rankings has him ranked 4th. He played all 4 years at Camden High School. He averaged 22.5 points, 3.3 rebounds, and 3 assists per game during his senior season. He was a McDonald's All-American, New Jersey Gatorade Player of the Year, and he scored over 2,000 points in his career. DJ Wagner is a pure scorer who can get it done from all 3 levels on the court. He can get a bucket on anyone. I've seen DJ Wagner play a bunch of times in person, and his game is so smooth, and his feel for the game on offense is something special. The best part of his game is his ability to get to the rim. He has a quick first step and a quick crossover, and this allows him to beat defenders often and get into the lane. He also can stop on a dime and change directions quickly, which helps him blow by defenders. He's always in attack mode, and he's not afraid of contact. He will finish through defenders or show his shiftiness around the rim, and he can finish with either hand. All the games that I went to during his senior season, I noticed one thing. If his jump shot wasn't falling and he knew he can get to the rim, he would just keep attacking until the opposing team stopped him, and most of the time, teams had no answer for him when he was in the zone. DJ Wagner has a smooth jump shot. He can knock down threes. He had multiple games during his senior season where he made a bunch of threes. He's a good catch and shooter. He has a nice pull-up from the mid-range, and he makes it look easy getting to his spots. DJ Wagner plays the game with a lot of heart, and he's an ultimate competitor. He gives it his all every game. He wants to do whatever it takes to win, and if that means not scoring a lot, then he's fine with that. He just wants to win games. Also, he thrives off trash talking in hostile environments. I saw many times when opposing teams tried to trash talk him, and it never ended well. It just made him turn up his game on the court and go off. I feel like this is a good trait to have because Kentucky will be playing in some hostile environments, and DJ Wagner won't get rattled in these situations. It's just going to make him play better. DJ Wagner is going to be a major key to Kentucky's success this season. He's already a proven leader, and he's going to be a leader for this Kentucky team during his freshman season. Now, let's talk about Robert Dillingham, who is a 6'2" point guard. He played his senior season for Overtime Elite. He's ranked 15 by ESPN. He averaged 14.7 points, 3.5 rebounds, and 4.9 assists. Robert Dillingham is one of the shiftiest players in high school, regardless of class. The way he can change direction and pace with ease is something I haven't seen in a long time. He's an elite ball handler, and he has the ball on a string. He can put together a bunch of dribble combinations to create separation from defenders. For a small guard like Robert Dillingham, this is a big part of his game because his ability to be shifty with the ball in his hands creates offense for himself. It's hard for defenders to contain him because he can easily break you down and blow by you, or he can use his fancy footwork and do a step back for a jump shot. So defending Robert Dillingham, you got to pick your poison. He's a bouncy athletic player. He can play above the rim. He has some good instincts, and he distributes the ball well. He's an undersized point guard, and this might be a problem for him in college. He's going to have to prove to scouts that he can hold his own on the college level. I'm not expecting him to be an elite defender, but can he become a decent on-ball defender and not a liability? We'll have to wait and see. Undersized guards usually have trouble once they make it to the NBA, but Robert Dillingham is different. He has a deep offensive bag, and his ball handling skills remind you of players like Allen Iverson or Kyrie Irving, and those players turned out just fine. So I feel like Robert Dillingham will be fine at Kentucky, and he'll be a one-and-done player, but some people are saying he'll have to do 2 years of college. Only way he's going to do 2 years of college if he has a bad freshman season, but I don't expect that to happen. DJ Wagner and Robert Dillingham will be the most exciting backcourt in college this season. It's going to be must-watch TV every time Kentucky plays. They're both ball-dominant players, so I don't know who's going to be playing point guard and shooting guard, but Coach Cal's seen this before when he had players like Eric Bledsoe and John Wall, or De'Aaron Fox and Malik Monk. So Coach Cal should have no problem with 2 ball-dominant players because he's seen this before in his coaching career. Coach Cal is very good at handling egos and emphasizing the philosophy, we not me. So this is a perfect coach for Robert Dillingham and DJ Wagner, and he's good at getting players to buy into the program. Now let's talk about Aaron Bradshaw, who's a 7-foot center. ESPN has him ranked 6th, and he was a McDonald's All-American. He played his senior season at Camden High School and was teammates with DJ Wagner. Aaron Bradshaw is an elite offensive and defensive player. Just like DJ Wagner, I've seen Aaron Bradshaw play in person many times, and he moves well being a 7-footer. He has good footwork, and he's really athletic being as tall as he is. First, let's talk about his biggest strength, which is his post moves and finishing around the rim. He has a nice post-up jump shot. It was one game in particular where Aaron Bradshaw showed this, which was a game against Don Bosco. He showed the ability to back down his defender and turn around and pull up for a jump shot. This is a great skill set for a big man to have, because not every big man can do that. He'll have to put on some weight in college, because it won't be easy to back down centers at the next level, but he has been in the weight room and putting on muscle in the offseason, so he should be bigger when the season starts. He's a lob threat from anywhere on the court. He's a good rim runner, and he has good hands. He's an underrated shooter. At Camden, they really didn't need him to shoot from the perimeter, but Kentucky can use him all over the floor, and he can shoot from the mid-range and from three. So he's the type of center you can move all over the court. He doesn't have to just sit in the paint. You can put him on the wing, and he can knock down threes, or he can make a mid-range jump shot. So Aaron Bradshaw is an underrated shooter. He's good at setting screens and getting open for a jump shot or getting to the rim for an easy bucket. He'll be good on defense for Kentucky. He's an elite shot blocker, so he should be a good rim protector in college. So Kentucky's getting a versatile big who can do a lot of things. Right now, Aaron Bradshaw is sidelined with an injury. It was reported that he has a small fracture in his foot and he will miss the beginning of the season. Some reports are saying he will miss 4 to 6 weeks, and others are saying he'll miss a few months. Coach Cal told the media that Aaron Bradshaw had a small operation done on his foot, and he won't be with the team for the Global Jam, which is an international basketball showcase that Kentucky's playing in from July 12th to July 16th. Coach Cal said that Aaron Bradshaw will be ready for the beginning of the season, so Kentucky fans shouldn't have to worry, but if anything changes, I'll make an update video on that. Justin Edwards is a 6'7" small forward. He was a McDonald's All-American, and ESPN has him ranked 3rd. He's a really good athlete with size and a 6'10" wingspan. He's an athletic, explosive 3-level scorer. He's not the quickest player, but he's very skilled with the ball in his hands, and he has good fundamentals. He makes the game look easy. He can create his own shot. He has an elite mid-range game. He uses his size to his advantage. This allows him to pull up over defenders. He's a decent three-point shooter. He's at his best when he can break down defenders and rise up for a three instead of being a catch and shooter. He has an aggressive straight line slashing style to the rim. He's either looking to dunk on you or go through you when he's driving to the rim. Justin Edwards is a good rebounder and defender. He has a knack for grabbing rebounds. He will probably average around 8 rebounds per game in college. On defense, he's a good on-ball defender. He uses his long wingspan to his advantage to get steals. Out of everyone in the 2023 recruiting class for Kentucky, he's the most versatile scorer, the best rebounder, and the best defender. Shepard is a 6'3" combo guard. He's a Kentucky native. He's ranked 23rd in the ESPN rankings and was a McDonald's All-American. He finished his high school career with 3,727 points. Shepard is a solid athlete. He's not that dynamic and explosive, but he doesn't need to be. He would contribute to his Kentucky team with his shooting ability. During his senior season, he was 39% from 3. He can shoot off the dribble or in catch and shoot situations, and he's an excellent free throw shooter, and every college team needs a player who can make his free throws at a high percentage. He plays strong with the ball in his hands. He's a pretty good ball handler, and he finds ways to shake off defenders. He'll be a solid rotational player off the bench for Kentucky. He can come into games and help the offense with three-point shooting and his free throw shooting. Joey Hart is a 3-star 6'5" shooting guard. He'll be a sharpshooter for Kentucky. He shot 41% from 3 during his senior season of high school. He is lethal from 3, and he doesn't miss often. You can't leave him open out there. He's going to be a nightmare to guard. He's sneaky athletic, and he can get to the rim, and when he gets there, he can throw down some vicious dunks. Since he's an elite three-point shooter, sometimes defenders overplay him, and this allows him to drive to the rim for an easy dunk or layup. He'll be a key piece coming off the bench. He could be a player that averages 10 to 15 points off the bench because he can heat up from 3. Coach Cal will find ways to get him on the court. As long as Joey Hart is consistent from 3 and knocking down his shots, he will see the court during his freshman season. And the last player in Kentucky's 2023 recruiting class is Jordan Burks. He's a 6'9" small forward. 24/7 Sports has him ranked as a 3-star, and ESPN has him as a 4-star recruit. He led Overtime Elite in scoring with 27 points per game, and he was ranked in the top 10 for rebounding. He has good size, and he has the potential to be a prolific scorer. I really like his game a lot. When I watch some of his highlights, he looks like a scoring machine. Y'all feel what I'm saying, plugins? This kid is a bucket. Some people consider him to be one of the most underrated players in the 2023 class. He is tall with a long wingspan. He's a fluent athlete, shifty with the ball in his hands, can break down defenders and light it up from the mid-range or three. He is dynamic in the open court. He's an athletic player who can jump out the gym. He's an interesting prospect. I'm curious to see how Coach Cal is going to use him. He can play multiple positions like shooting guard, small forward, and power forward. And I believe he can guard multiple positions in college. He's going to be a solid defender. Reports came out that he's buying in to play in any position the team needs him to because he wants to get on the floor during his freshman season. One thing he needs to work on is his shot selection. Other than that, he's a solid prospect. He seems very excited to play for Kentucky. He told the media this: "I've always been big on Kentucky because of the atmosphere and the culture. I've been watching since I was a kid and seeing all the players develop and progress into pros and compete for titles every year made this place where I wanted to play at." And he also said he wants to play with top players in the country and develop his game under Coach Cal, and he wants to win a bunch of NCAA championships, so he's a raw prospect with a high ceiling. Coach Cal can develop him into a star and get the most out of him. Now let's talk about the transfers Kentucky got. As of right now, they only got one player in the transfer portal, which was Trey Mitchell from West Virginia. He's a 6'9" forward. He averaged 11.7 points, 5.5 rebounds, and shot 47% from the field last season. He brings leadership, experience, size, and versatility to Kentucky. If Aaron Bradshaw is not ready when the season starts and he ends up missing some games, Trey Mitchell can fill in for him and can give Kentucky some solid production. Now let's briefly talk about the key players Kentucky's returning for this season. First, let's talk about Antonio Reeves. He entered his name into the 2023 NBA draft, but then he announced on May 31st that he will be returning to the team. And this was good news for Kentucky because he was one of the best scorers on the team, averaging 14.4 points per game, which ranks him second on the team. He had 10 games last season where he scored 20 or more points. He's a nice perimeter scorer. He was great with the young team last season, and he will be a great addition with this 2023 recruiting class. He might end up being the leading scorer on this team this season. Dude Darrow was a freshman last season. He's coming back for his sophomore season. He has a chance to play a larger role and get some solid minutes. He only appeared in 20 games off the bench. He's a project player who needs time to develop, but he has the potential to be really good. He grew a few inches in the offseason. I've seen some rumors that he's 6'8" now. Gunner was also a freshman last season. He's coming back for his sophomore season. Most people thought he was going to leave Kentucky in April. Multiple reports came out that he entered the transfer portal, but a week after that report came out, he said on Twitter that he would be returning to Kentucky. He will help Kentucky on defense. He was one of the best shot blockers on the team last season. He is 6'11" with a long wingspan, and he's big and strong with an NBA-ready body. Some reports are saying he will be the starting center this season. Kentucky did lose some players to the 2023 NBA draft and the transfer portal. First, let's talk about the players who left for the NBA draft. Oscar, who was a fan favorite and a big part of the program, entered the 2023 NBA draft. This was a big loss for Kentucky. He was a team's leading scorer, averaging 16.6 points per game, and he was a double-double machine. He has 48, which is tied for second in program history. He almost came back, but he stayed in the draft. He recently signed a two-way deal with the Pacers, so shout out to him. Hopefully he has a great NBA career. Jacob Toppin had a solid season for Kentucky. He had 8 games with a double-double. He showed flashes of being a good perimeter scorer. He was the third best scorer on the team, averaging 12.4 points per game and 6.8 rebounds, but it's reported that he signed a deal with the Knicks. Kentucky lost star freshman Cason Wallace. He averaged 11.7 points per game. He was a lottery pick going 10th overall to the OKC Thunder. Chris Livingston, who was decent his freshman season, he averaged 6.3 points per game, and he earned SEC Freshman of the Week honors at one point. He was drafted by the Bucks in the second round with the 58th overall pick. Kentucky lost 4 players in the transfer portal. Severe Wheeler, it was high expectations for him going into the season, but things didn't go as planned. He missed a lot of games because of injuries, and at times Kentucky fans seemed frustrated with his play. With the 2 freshmen coming in, DJ Wagner and Robert Dillingham, it was going to be hard for him to get any playing time, so he transferred to Washington. CJ Frederick played 3 seasons for Iowa and transferred to Kentucky. He was one of the best 3-point shooters in college basketball. He dealt with injuries at Iowa, and the same happened with him at Kentucky. He missed a bunch of games. He ended up transferring to Cincinnati. Damian Collins played for Kentucky for 2 seasons, but he didn't get that much playing time. He wanted a bigger role, so he decided to transfer to LSU. The last player that left Kentucky through the transfer portal was Lance Ware. He was also not getting that much playing time and wanted a bigger role. Going into the season, it looked like he wouldn't see the court much, so he decided to transfer to Villanova. We will get our first look at this Kentucky team on July 12th at the Global Jam. The Global Jam will be 3 games, which will be against Germany, Canada, and Africa, and they could end up in the gold medal game, which will be played on July 16th. This will be good for the incoming freshmen so they can gel well with their new teammates and for the team to build some chemistry going into the season. They will find out their strengths and weaknesses. I'm expecting them to play well and make it to the gold medal game. My expectations for Kentucky this season is that they will win 25 games, win the SEC, and at least make it to the Final Four. Right now, they're my favorites to win the NCAA championship. So I'm excited for this season, and I can't wait to see Kentucky. I'll probably drop another Kentucky video after the Global Jam. Do y'all think Kentucky can win the NCAA championship with this roster? How many games will Kentucky win? And will DJ Wagner and Robert Dillingham be one of the best duos in college basketball this season? Drop a like on the video and sub to the channel. I'll probably drop another breakdown video on USC or Duke, so make sure y'all stay on the lookout for that. I appreciate y'all, and I'll see you in the next video. Till next time.